Welcome to the Black Lion Podcast. We're your hosts, Lex and Dom, and today we got a special guest for you. Guest, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, how you doing? Shomari Hudson, owner of Taurus Tactical.
Great. Nice to have you with us.
Good. I'm out here in Detroit, Michigan.
All right. Can you tell us a little bit about your business, please?
Sure. So basically I teach concealed pistol license classes. Also I do CPL renewals. Also, we just started about 4 or 5 months ago selling like firearm accessories as far as like holsters, just a number of things, different sights, different things that go on firearms, flashlights, a lot of stuff for law enforcement, security, just a bunch of stuff.
Okay. And you said you're located in Detroit?
Yeah, we're in Detroit, Michigan, holding it down.
That's great. What would you say your price is for your for the merchandise that you sell?
It varies. I try to look around in the market, see what things, see how much, places like Amazon and other places like that are charging. And I kind of base it around that. But, it's very, things are affordable,
That's good. All right. What made you start this business?
So right now I'm in law enforcement.
Okay.
So yeah. And I've been probably teaching these classes for about 10 years.
That's great.
10 years or so. My father was also in law enforcement, and he also was a firearms instructor.
Okay.
So, pretty much it's kind of in me to teach and train people. I wanted to start a business because I felt like, it was something that it was needed, and especially in the African American community. It's a lot of lack of knowledge when it comes to firearms. So I feel like, it was my job to help teach our people everything I can about it.
Right. And you also have a book, right?
Yeah. I'm the author of Blueprints of Urban Carry. I put that book out in 2017, and it's doing pretty well. And basically the book is about carrying firearms in the urban environment, like different situations we may face, in the city, and ways to just avoid danger. Also go over like basic fundamentals of firearms, things like that.
That's great. Where do you see your business going at in 5 years?
5 years.
Mm-hmm.
5 years, I'll be owning. I'll have my own gun range.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Also, we'll be selling firearms as well in the next 5 years. Yeah. A lot of people, I ain't gonna say sleep on that industry, but it is a white dominated industry. So, I think it's time for African Americans who are knowledgeable in this field to step their game up and get to the next level. So that's what I plan on doing.
Did you say how many copies your book sold?
I sold quite a few. I don't want to throw no number out there, but it's doing pretty good.
That's great.
Do you have a recommended age, like you think people should start taking their kids to the fire range or the shooting range?
I started taking my daughter. Let me see. So I got a daughter that's 12. I have twin boys that are 8. So I started educating them on firearms about 3 years old. When I say educate, I mean just telling them the dangers of a firearm, and I wanted them to respect it, and basically let them know that it's nothing that you play with. It's a tool of last resort. Daddy carries this firearm because for protection of them and the family and so on. As far as my daughter, when she got about 8, I started training her at home with what they call snap caps, like dummy rounds. And I'll show her how to load, unload, teach her about the safety rules. And I started taking them to the range about 9 years old. So I feel like as early as possible, whenever they're able to understand and comprehend, you should train your children. Other cultures do it, so we should do it as well.
Do you think your children are going to follow in your footsteps as far as career-wise?
It's up to them. I would say one of them probably would, because I'm kind of following in the footsteps of my father. Mm-hmm. And honestly, he never even, asked me to go this route. It just was in my blood. So I'm not telling my kids to go this route, but if they don't take this career path, they probably will be carriers. They probably, will practice their Second Amendment right.
Well, that's good. But so as far as your business, do you hope to pass that on to your children?
Definitely. If somebody gotta take it over when I'm gone. So right. I definitely plan on doing that.
That's great.
You gotta set something up for the kids, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
When you first started, did you have any doubts?
I wouldn't say doubts. Sometimes we all procrastinate and put stuff, to the side, or let me do this first. Let me do this, and then I'll get to that. So, for me, I think that it came easy. I just feel like it's something that I'm supposed to be doing. So sometimes I feel like when it's something that you're supposed to do, it just flows. You know what I'm saying? It just flows. Kind of, to me, kind of like even with this interview with you, like when I was telling you I was checking you guys out, but how you got in contact with me is because most likely, I do a lot of shipping out of state. So I sent some things out your way, and next thing you know, it got to circulating, and that's how you found me, So it's just got to follow your passion, follow your heart, and
That's great. Do you got any inspiring words for someone who wants to start a business who hasn't done so yet?
Just gotta do it. You gotta do what you gotta do. Don't listen to the doubters and try to keep the negative people out your life. Positive and get a blueprint, research, get all the knowledge you can on whatever business that you're trying to do. And you gotta stay focused, disciplined, hard work, gotta eat the right foods, all that. It's not just the business. You gotta be able to wake up early, you got all that, so just they gotta do it, go for it.
That's great.
It's a lot of money out here. It ain't all, I'm not saying it's all about money, but it's a lot of it out here. And I feel like whatever somebody thinks and put into their brain, and they put an LLC out here, that business can generate revenue.
Yeah.
We see it every day.
That's great.
How do you feel about Congress trying to, I don't know, they trying to stop people from getting guns, or trying to take away like people license to carry for whatever reason? There's some type of legislation going around that they keep bringing up in their debates and negotiations and things that's going on in Congress.
Well, every state has different laws pertaining to owning, carrying firearms, as far as like magazine capacity or different kind of rounds that you can shoot using in your firearm. I think it's all politics. I think it's all business at the end of the day. Guns been around for hundreds of thousands of years, man. They ain't going nowhere. They not going nowhere. I don't care if a Democrat in office or Republican, firearms ain't going nowhere. It's a business. They make too much money off firearms. So I think it's just a scare tactic. I don't think at all. You notice a lot of times when they do that, what do people do? They run to the gun store and they buy all the guns up. So it's a business. no matter who's in office, they're not going anywhere. Now, certain laws may change in different states as far as carrying, depending on if it's a blue or red state, but guns in general aren't going anywhere. The first thing to be mass produced in the United States were firearms.
Mm.
You know, it wasn't cars, it was guns. So they're not going nowhere.
Good. Okay.
How long you been in law enforcement?
About 6 years. About 6 years. And I'm a firearms instructor at my department as well. You know, I train with other agencies, and you know, it's a great thing. Like I say, my dad also was in law enforcement and retired. Now, will I retire from there? Probably not, because I feel like God got a lot of other things for me to do in this world. But I will always probably have one foot in, you know, as far as like training and doing what I can, whether it be as a peace officer or a reserve or something. But yeah, so I've been there for about 6 years.
How much are your classes?
My classes are $80. It's, you know, it's not very expensive. You know, it's very affordable.
Right.
But also we'll be doing like other classes 2021, as far as like shotgun training, rifle training, because I do these things with the department, but I want to do them for civilians, because a lot of people may have a shotgun in their house that they father or granddaddy left, and they don't know nothing about it, don't know how to load it, don't know how to do nothing. So I plan on teaching a lot of my people about different types of firearms.
That's great.
How many people have been taking your own classes so far?
Man, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even start with a number. I don't even want to throw nothing out there. A lot. You know, Lex is a friend with me on social media now, so she can double back and see quite a few, man. You know, it's good. Also teach different, you know, not just African Americans, but you know, whites, you know, Asian, Arab, you know, whatever. You know, anybody can come get this knowledge, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Dom, you got any more questions?
Well, I remember you asked me about the pandemic.
Oh yeah, how is it affecting your business? I'm sorry.
I had moved to a different office at the beginning of March.
Okay.
Everything was fine. And then next thing you know, a couple weeks later, the whole world like shut down. They got this thing out here called coronavirus. So for the first couple months, I wasn't doing any business, but I still was working. I'm a first responder. So I'm still working. I was still working, but my business was kind of slow. And then next thing you know, it just picked right back up around May, because again, when that pandemic hit, a lot of people got scared. They got nervous. Oh, they can't go get no toilet paper. They can't do this, do that, you know. But they was going to the gun store buying guns, and they needed training. So around May, stuff picked back up. And actually, I don't want to say the pandemic has helped the business, but a lot of money been generated after the pandemic. And you know, for whatever it's worth, it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's how it is though. When any scare happens in the United States, people tend to want to protect themselves. So one thing they do is go buy guns. They need this, they need that, you know, they need ammo. So, you know, this is an industry that's very lucrative no matter what is going on. Life, death, whatever, people want to protect themselves.
Yeah.
Do you think it's like you train people to learn how to shoot and things like that in your classes and things, but do you also think it's a risk? Like it's like it got pros and cons to it.
Definitely, man. That's why I wrote the book. You know, I definitely talked to him about, you know, Firearm is the last tool of resort. You know, it's a lot. It's mental. You know, you can't just carry a gun and think, oh, I'm a badass now. If somebody, you know, step to me, I'm gonna handle that. You know, I carry myself as if I'm not carrying a firearm. I don't base any decisions on this weapon that be on maybe on my waist. I try to solve all my problems verbally, and that's the last tool of resort. You know, most violence in America, a lot of it is in-house, it's personal, it's you know, it's your own people. When I say that, I mean like domestic, family, friends, co-workers, you know. So if we can solve those issues that we have with our own people, a lot of crime would be prevented, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we live in Philly, so of course there's a lot of violence here.
Yeah.
And I just feel like if these people who are, doing the violence, if they were trained, maybe, so many innocent people wouldn't be getting killed.
Yeah, if they were trained and respect firearms, because a lot of individuals don't respect the gun. They, you know, they pick it up and they think, oh, and they don't respect life,
Right.
you know. So
That's
they pick it up and think, oh, I can just, oh, my man owe me some money, or, you know, he's sleeping with my girl, so let me go shoot him. Like,
right.
you shoot somebody, that person, if he dies, that person never coming back. And nobody wins, right? Because someone may be going to the grave, the other may be going to jail, and then both families are grieving a lost person. So no one wins in it. You know, I don't promote guns for violence at all. You know, I'm all about communication, you know, but like I said, at the end of the day, it's a business. I mentioned that in the book about um, even when someone dies, unfortunately, somebody got to pay for a funeral.
Yeah.
You know, somebody got to bury that person. That costs money. You know, if someone survives the gunshot when we got to have surgery, who paying for that surgery? His insurance company. You know, like it's that deep. You need a lawyer. The guy that shot him gonna need a lawyer. Who paying for that lawyer? It ain't free. So at the end of the day, it's all about money. But at the same time, you know, like we were just saying, a lot of this can be prevented.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I hope everybody get a gun and they just collect dust. You
Yeah.
know, they never have to use it. Or
Mm-hmm.
they just go to the gun range and practice, let off some steam, let off some stress. Or, you know, sporting events or something. But unfortunately, crime, like you said, in Philly, Detroit, these urban cities, crime is real.
What's your perspective on George Floyd and all the other unarmed black men that was killed in police custody?
Oh, that was unfortunate, man. It should have never happened. It should have never got to that point where that officer put his knee to his neck for what about 9 minutes it was, and ended that guy's life. You know, never should have happened. Of course, I think there's a disconnect between some white officers and African Americans in the inner city. You know, there's a communication, a way that we communicate, some of us, that they don't understand, or they may take it as being aggressive or something, when that's just how we talk or how we move. Um, at the same time, I tell my kids, I tell people to try to prevent from getting in those type of situations. You know, no, we shouldn't steal from the store. No, we shouldn't commit any crimes. But African Americans have a target on their back. So when they do these little petty crimes, they may lose their life, you know, potentially, depending on what officer respond to the scene, you know, and you got to humble yourself. Civilians, we need to humble ourselves when we're in the presence with law enforcement. You can't be all rah-rah, you know, extra with a police officer. You gotta respect that officer. I mean, of course, you gotta demand respect as well, but you know, African Americans don't have that privilege of being irate, being extra with a police officer because, again, depending on that officer, that person could lose their life or be injured just because of the way they reacted.
Right. So I got a quick question. How much do you think is too much to pay for a gun? Because my first gun, I paid like $525 for it. I think it's like a 9.
What's the manufacturer?
Let me tell you, I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I could. All I know is a small gun, and it was too much because my next gun I got, it was only like 200.
Sometimes you get what you pay for. And then, it's just like anything else. It's just like a car. You can get a Mercedes, a Cadillac, a Buick, a Hyundai, whatever, but some run better than others. Some you might get 200,000 miles. Some the engine gonna go after 100,000. So you get what you pay for. I don't usually recommend the $200 guns, but we're not gonna talk about manufacturers. But at the end of the day, you got to do some research and figure out what's the best brand to get. As far as the cost, that's reasonable. Honestly, $5, that's reasonable.
You know what? The two, it was like 2 something. I got it from the gun show. That's why it was probably cheaper.
It depends. Then depend on the manufacturer. And I'll tell you one thing too: if you get a chance, learn your firearm. You should know what kind you have. I ask students that every day. What kind of gun you got? For me, that's like driving a car and not knowing the name of your car. Like, I think it's a Benz. It might be a BMW. Like, bro, you drive this car every day, So you carry a gun. If you got it, I don't know if you carry, but if you have it in your home, you should know your firearm. Know the caliber. It's a 9. It's a 40, 45. Know the manufacturer. It's a Glock. It's a Taurus. It's a Smith & Wesson. Know your weapon.
In your classes, do you teach them how to take the gun apart and put it back together or no?
Yeah, we go over breaking down the firearm. Now, I usually break down mine because if someone comes with their own firearm, I won't initially break theirs down because we shoot them. So I don't want nobody saying, hey, you broke this gun down and put it back together. Now my stuff jammed up, because people come with some, sometimes some, guns that aren't dependable. So I want them to see that before we do anything as far as breaking it down. But yes, we do go over the internal and external parts of the firearm.
That's great.
When I was in the nursing home, one of my aides, she didn't know her son was going to the shooting range, and he died because I don't know what was wrong with the gun. All I know, it kicked back and shot him in his face.
He had a gun in his. What happened now?
He was at the shooting range. Like he would go practice like every day, and one day he went to go practice. When he loaded the bullets or whatever, and he started to shoot, one of the bullets fired back on him, and he died.
Okay, that's unfortunate, man. How old was he?
He was only 18.
18 years old. Wow, that's unfortunate, man. Sorry about your loss of your friend. Gun safety rules are serious, man. I mean, we gotta follow those safety rules. One, always keep that finger off the trigger. Most shootings, man, 9 times out of 10, if somebody accidentally shoot themselves, they have their finger on the trigger. Guns just don't go off by themselves. I never seen a gun just be sitting on the table and just go off. Somebody put their finger on the trigger, squeezed it a little bit, gun went off. A certain amount of pounds of pressure we got to place on these triggers for the fire. Typically, it's between 4 to 6 pounds of pressure. That's not much. You take into consideration a child can do it. So if you just got your finger on that trigger, and the next one, never point a gun at anything you don't intend to shoot. So if you don't intend to shoot yourself, that barrel should never be facing your head or your chest or anything. So it was unfortunate, but basically it was a couple safety rules that he didn't follow, and that led to that.
It backfired on him. Like, I don't know. It backfired on him. You know how, like, it will go, instead of going the way it's supposed to go straight, it went backward.
Okay. I would have to, hear the whole details, but it's unfortunate, bro.
Mhm.
18 years old, that's too young. He get to live his life.
Right.
They say guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, I agree.
Well, we really appreciate you on. Dom, do you got any more questions before I wrap it up?
Yeah, I do. No. I got back in September 2013, September 27th, I had got shot in my own neck and stuff. So, like 2 years later, 2015, it was a bullet still in my back and stuff. And when it worked itself out, my back and stuff by itself. So
Okay.
I was, and the detective we asked the detective that he want the bullet or whatnot because it was a bullet basically because they wanted to see could they find I guess DNA, but they said they wasn't able to find no DNA or whoever put the bullet on, who loaded the bullet that shot me and stuff.
So whenever you say when a bullet, the projectile, when they exit your body, law enforcement wanted to get it to
Yeah,
basically see if they
try
can
to
get any kind of DNA on it, fingerprint from somebody.
yeah,
How long was it in you before it came out?
2 years.
2 years later?
Yeah,
I doubt that. I doubt they'd been able to get anything, worth catching somebody for, but I'm glad it didn't, injure you any worse or anything. Or I'm glad you still here as well.
yeah. Well, I died 9 times, but resuscitated 9 times. But
Wow,
I'm
really?
here though. Yeah.
Yeah, you here, bro. God is
They,
good, man.
they say a lot
Tomorrow
of
not
people that get
promise.
they say a lot of people that get shot in the neck don't survive.
Yeah, I can believe that. Do you know what kind of caliber it was?
Uh-uh.
Okay. Yeah, man.
'Cause
Watch how you
they
move
shot
out
me
there.
from. No, I'm good now. They
Yeah.
shot me from behind. I'm just.
Oh man. Okay. Sorry to hear that, man. Oh, karma is real though, bro. Karma is real. So whoever did that, I don't want to put nothing bad on, but karma, it comes back, man. So, it'll work itself out. If law enforcement don't get them, something happen. Karma.
Right. Well, I definitely appreciate you coming on our podcast today.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you for having me.
Thank you for all the
Thank
tips.
you.
So again, Taurus Tactical out here in Detroit, Michigan. If anybody's interested in any kind of firearm accessories, my website is taurustacticalelite.com, taurustacticalelite.com. I'm on Instagram, S_dot_elite. Facebook is TSA Elite Firearm Training. So, any questions about anything, you can hit me up or either one of you all. And I'll assist you if I can. If I'm in the Philly area, I'm gonna look you up, see what's going
Great.
on. Tell me what I can get a Philly cheese steak or something.
Okay. Well, thank you. We appreciate you coming on. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, you
Yeah.
do the same.
Stay
Y'all be
safe.
blessed. Be blessed. You too, brother.
You too.